Lovely J Podcast, and I'm Miss Coco Bowden. Thanks y'all for tuning in. Uh, I'm just coming in to fix me a bite to eat for dinner, and I decided that why not talk about how I found out I was adopted. Yeah, is that a good thing or a bad thing? All right, but I am having egg salad for my dinner. Egg salad sandwich. That's all I want. Shot working a little too good today. Meanwhile, I got these eggs boiled, and I'm going to take 3 of them to make this sandwich out of. 3. Have y'all ever tried those seasoned crackers? Oh, they are so good. Last night, I made some, I took some unsalted, just regular, unsalted, I want to call them saltine crackers. What do they call outside? You know, the white crackers, just plain saltines, but I got the unsalted kind. And I put it in a Ziploc bag, added some olive oil, and added some seasonings. And, well, first I made peanut butter crackers out of it. I put peanut butter, you know how you make those kind of crackers for a snack. I made that first, and then, y'all hear me hitting, it's because I'm about to be peeling these eggs. Then I took and put it in the bag with the seasonings and the oil. Now, how I seen them do it on TikTok was the woman put all them seasonings in. I mean, she was making spicy ones, chili cheese flavored ones. I just made chili flavored ones. Chili and olive oil flavor. Let's see here. I don't want to drop nothing. Y'all know these eggs will roll away from you. I boiled my eggs for 20 minutes too, by the way. But yeah, I've been watching how they do them, and I liked it that, and I wanted to try it. And so last night I got a chance to try it. They put theirs in the oven, and I didn't, because it was like I had to have something to eat. So I just went on and did what I had to do. So of course not. I didn't put mine in the oven. And they still came out good. I didn't let them sit and soak or nothing. And they still came out good. Let's see here. They were really good. Y'all, if you haven't tried it before, you gotta try it. I use the unsalted crackers because if you know, those salted crackers, they are, let me make sure ain't nothing on my egg. Those salted crackers are, they salty. That's why they call saltines. Because they salty, baby. So weird. What I want in my egg salad? Do I even want some onions in this egg salad? Yeah, I do. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm going to toast my bread with it. I like toasted bread with mine. After I get this water. Alright, so how I found out I was adopted, and I wanted to just talk on this because it's a really nice subject to touch on once in a while, and it's not really bad now. I don't feel bad about it. I don't think that I've ever felt salty towards being adopted. But I was in 5th grade when I found out that I was adopted. Now, my thumbnail picture is my biological mom and my grandparents. And my grandparents are the ones who adopted me. But I didn't know I was adopted. I did not know until I was in 5th grade. There was hints that I was different in the 3rd grade. Because I would notice how the other kids in certain families, you know, would treat me and my siblings. We got treated like outsiders in a lot of places that we went. So we, you know, things about kids is if you treat them bad, they not going to forget the ones who treat them bad. They'll be 90 years old talking about, I remember Mrs. Birkenbag when she used to tap me on my hand. And I was just a little girl in elementary. You know, kids don't forget what you do to them. So I never forgot how I was treated And I remember not understanding why people was treating us like that. What was wrong with us? It just seemed like nobody really wanted us. To me, that's what it felt like. Nobody really wanted us. Because every time we went somewhere, we had to split up, or either it was certain ones allowed to do certain things, and that was that. Now, when getting back to elementary, now this is how cruel kids can be. Hold up. Where is my Okay, y'all, instead of onions, I'm just going to do onion powder. But getting back to how cruel kids can be in elementary schools, they can be very cruel. And they only do what their parents have taught them to do. Am I right about it? You teach your child to do something, don't you think they're going to do what you taught them to do? Where is this onion powder? I don't want to get up, but I'm going to have to get up. I don't want to get up. My legs are still sore. So most of the kids were taught not to be accepting of us and to pick on us. And you would think it was just a kid thing, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't just a kid thing. Y'all give me a second. I just want a plain tasting egg sandwich. I don't need a whole bunch of seasoning. So it wasn't just kids being kids. This was what their parents were teaching them about us to make sure that we were known, that we knew that we was outsiders. I found out I was adopted. 3rd grade, I had some family members who just kept picking and just was like, oh, your mama in jail, your mama in jail. I was like, no, my mama ain't. My mama is not in jail. 4th grade, they same thing. That's why your mama in jail. That's why your mama in jail. And we'd be like, well, I would, in my class, in my grade, I'd be like, my mama ain't in jail. What you talking about? They'd be like, your mama in jail. I still didn't know what they were talking about because, to me, my mama was not in jail. If anything, my mama was at home, probably making up some beds or, cleaning up house, cooking for the evening. That's where my mama was in my head. And still didn't understand it. Just didn't know what they were talking about. And even got to the point where we would physically fight because of those accusations about our mother. I'm talking about me and my siblings then. Where we got where when we would go visit other family members, we would get in a fight because they'd be talking about our biological mama. But at the time, we didn't know that was our biological mama. At least I didn't anyway. So I have a family member that came up in the 4th grade. They had moved up this way. And now here I was. They had flunked some grades. So now here I was in the same grade with them. And the cousin starts taking up for me when she starts hearing other people picking on me about my mama being in jail. This cousin starts speaking up and said, y'all ain't gonna talk about my aunt like that. And I had no idea who in the world she was talking about. And one day I asked, I said, what you talking about? She said, we cousins. I said, how we cousins? She said, your mama my aunt. And I was like, huh? Ooh, excuse me. I was like, no. I don't know y'all like that. I know we used to play together and things, and we used to go around y'all house, but as far as my mama being your aunt, no. That's not so. So I swore up and down they were lying, and I got ready to come home, and I started asking my siblings. I said, do y'all think we got another mama and daddy? And we got curious. And we began to look for paperwork, and somebody had, I don't know how we knew, but somebody then told us look for birth certificates. I didn't even know what a birth certificate was. But I knew where they was. I didn't know what they was, but I knew where they kept all the important papers. And one day we got back there and started finding papers, and that paper said Jamie Marshall. I went back to school that day and I was bragging. I said, I got 2 names. And my name is spelled with 2 M's, not 1 M. And on my birth certificate, it's spelled with 2 M's, Jammie. And my middle name is Roberta. Now, they kept the name the same, but when they did the birth certificate, they changed one thing out. They took one of the M's out of my name, which made it Jamie Roberta. And when I found that, I said, I'm a Marshall. And got to school, and I started writing my name as Jamie Marshall. And the teacher said, who is Jamie Marshall? Who is Jamie Marshall? I said, that's me. And she said, no, you do not put that on your, you do not write this on your work, on your schoolwork. Your name is Jamie Boughton. And I became so confused. I didn't know what to do. But they must have called my mama and daddy, because they were like, when I got home, daddy was like, nah. He kind of set me to the side. And he was hitting that he wasn't really my daddy. But then he didn't really say much. He just said, write your name right. He said, your name changed. You can't write it like that. And that was all he said at the time. Now, getting a little older, I knew the woman who kept coming around the house, and I was like, I always wanted to follow the woman that kept coming around the house, but they said we couldn't go with her. They never told us why we couldn't go with her. They just said, no, you can't go with her. So we never went with the woman that kept coming around the house. I get in 5th grade, and I don't know what happened, but they started fussing and arguing over who had parental rights, and something came out about us kids, and I hear Daddy holler, if you take them kids, I'm going to call the police on you, because those aren't your kids now. And that really confused me. He said, those aren't your kids now. And I asked Daddy, I said, what you mean? What you talking about? And he said, y'all are adopted. He said, that's your mama, and always respect your mama, but she don't got no rights to you. You can't go with her unless I get permission. And my daddy, when he gets serious, he go into this deep, deep voice. And you could tell when he really, really sincere. You can hear it in his voice. And I was just really surprised at all of that. I didn't know what to think. But my cousins was telling the truth that we were cousins. And then I started getting to learn more about that side of the family. And we still didn't get to go down to see them as much as we wanted to when we were smaller. But as we got older, we got to go see them a lot. But that's how I found out that I was adopted. Was through that little argument they had, and she got mad and she wanted to take her kids, and they were like, no, you can't take your kids because your kids adopted. You don't have no parental rights to your children. So we never really, well, I say we because I'm used to saying we when I talk about my siblings or something to do with the siblings. But I don't know how old they was when they found out that she was our mother. But for me, I was in 5th grade when I found out for sure that was our mother. And as we got into 6th grade, we started fighting people because they were still picking on us. They're like, your mama a jailbird, your mama just getting out the jail, or your mama just going into jail. Because my biological mom, she really was in and out of prison for years. She was in and out of prison That phone gonna have to keep on ringing. And it was for different things. She had some challenges, I'll say. With every right to have those challenges too, by the way. Y'all, that's my other phone ringing. It might go off. Hold up, let me see. She had a right to have those challenges because as I learned more about her history growing up, she went through a lot. Let's see, did you call? She went through a lot and it altered who she was because the woman that I was seeing every day was the woman who loved to dress up in makeup. She loved her jeans. Like, she wore tight jeans. She wore these pretty blouses and, had the, she loved showing off her beauty. And she always dressed really good. I should have known that something was going on with her, though, when she went from dressing and being a very colorful person. I mean, she loved colors. Her colors were... I got a granddaughter that loves the same colors as she do, like the greens and the oranges, and the yellows. They love those kind of colors, and she was always dressing in those kind of colors. But then I started noticing that every time she would get ready to go out on the weekend, she always come up to Mama's house, and she'd be looking to find something to wear. But she got where she started dressing in all black, and she started changing up then. When she started dressing in all that black every weekend, that's when really she started going downhill, and she got where she really didn't care too much about herself. Over time, she stopped caring about herself and others, and she just became who she is right now that we know her to be. She just stopped dressing one day, and she was over 45 years old, because I remember when she was 45, because I was bragging about how pretty she was when I was in school. So I remember when she was that age. One day she just stopped dressing. She stopped fixing up. She stopped trusting people, and she just wasn't herself again. I don't know what happened to her, but she stopped. And that made me wonder, was it something with like premenopause, or was it had to do with the condition that she's in now with the cancer? Because she had those fibroids for a while. Did that play a part in all that? I don't know for sure. But I do know the woman I used to see coming in and out that house, getting clothes and makeup and doing her nails, went from doing all that to just not giving a care about anything. And maybe it's on my heart because maybe I'm feeling like that's how I am right now. I was just telling my daughter that I feel like I need to get out of here and I need to do more or become more active. Because at my age, I'm too young to just be sitting around and acting like, this is it. I do want to get out there and explore more. I noticed how she felt. When she started wearing them dark clothes, she changed to a totally different person. And she became somebody that at the time we couldn't trust, became very manipulating. It became scary. She got where she would really do things that let's just say, thank God she adopted us off, because I don't think we would be here right now if she had not made that decision to adopt us off. I think somewhere in her heart she loves us. And I always tell myself to get through those moments. I always tell myself, well, she loved us enough to adopt us, so she had to care. But then them little actions, Lord have mercy. But, that's how I get through. I don't know how anybody else get through it, because being adopted in another way, too, always made me feel like I was unwanted and that I had to work extra hard to be accepted anywhere that I went. Thank God I know God now. I don't care if you accept me or not. I'm still going to love me and love people. And those I can't get along with, I just have to shake the dust off and keep moving. But it made me fight harder in this world to be accepted. It made me make bad choices because I wanted to make the choices she made. Because, once you find out who your mama is, you want to start acting like her. You want to start being like her. And my attitude got nasty just like hers. I know where the attitude came from. My attitude came from her. My aunts and uncles, they be like, you just like your mama. Ooh, you look like her, you just like her. I was told that a majority of my life before I even knew who she was. And now that I see, I'm like, they really think I act like her. And when I think about how she act, it's odd. It's very odd. I do let people help me. She doesn't want no help unless she really wants, unless she finds it okay with her. But yeah, I look at myself now at the age, I'm the age she was when she was pulling time in and out. And the lipstick, we used to get her pictures that she would send us in the mail. Well, she sent to mom and them, and mom and daddy let us look at those pictures. And I remember going to see her for Christmas, and I had just got this pretty coat. Mama had got on credit for me for Christmas. She had got us all coats with a credit card. And we went up there, and I finally learned how to curl my own hair, and I had this bang, and I was wearing my hair down at the back and a bang in the front. And I remember going to see her, and I thought she was going to hug us. I thought she was going to hug us, and it was like the only time she really only talked about when she was going to get out. That's all she talked about. It wasn't about, I'm glad to see these kids. It wasn't that type of party. It was, I'll be glad when I get out. And then somebody said, come take a picture. And we all took a picture. And that's probably the closest we got, even to this day, of getting a hug from her. Now, if the other ones have gotten a hug from her, I don't know. But to me, that's the closest that I've seen any of us get to her, and where it almost looked like she wanted to hug us, but we didn't get a hug. I went back home crying because I thought I was going to get a hug, because I'm a hugger. I like hugs. I used to anyway. And I was thinking that, this is going to be good, but prison life is hard on kids. We go visit, and then we come back home, and we get picked on at school. People at church pick on you. So church people have always been, who they are. They just die out, and their kids take over where they left off, Still, as an adult being adopted, there are moments when I know I don't fit in. I know I don't. And I don't break my neck to fit in for nobody. I do still love everybody. But as we grow up, we grow out of things and people. But I still have a relationship with everybody. I just don't go out as much. And I'm just praying that I don't end up like that, because seeing her go from being someone who was active, going out, having a good time, at least it seemed like she was having a good time and dressing up, and it just seemed like she was a hustler. In some ways she was. She always hustled her way through whatever she wanted or whatever she needed. And that was part of the reason why she pulled time, because of those hustling things that she would do. Mom and Daddy didn't treat us no different, though. They treated us just like we were theirs. We do something wrong, yeah, we got in trouble. So it was all right. I'm not saying there was no perfect relationships in there, but I do know at that age, I was going through so much, and I was really hoping that she would protect me from a lot of things that was going on, and she couldn't, because she couldn't even protect herself. She was, even though she's one of those master manipulators, she was manipulated too. People were taking advantage of her too. And not to mention her religious views was of the witch doctors. It was of the witch doctors. So she was on both sides of the fence. Christian over here and witch doctor over there. So when she would go to church, she was not accepted by the church because of her witchcraft beliefs. And so that was that was another piece of it, but we won't go into that right now. Not while I'm finna eating that. That's too disgusting. Anyway, that's it. That's how I found out that I was adopted, by the kids picking on me and trying to fight me and picking about my biological mom in prison and jail. They could tell. Every time they come to school, they was like, "Oh, your mama went to jail last night. Your mama wrote bad checks." They had no idea how that affected me. It affected me a lot. But thank God we learn and we grow. Now I'm fixing to eat. But y'all, peace, love, and happiness. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. And if you are adopted, just know that don't fuss with it. Don't fuss with it. You can find out your whys as much as you want to. But the truth is, we don't know what a person is going through when they decide that, hey, I cannot take care of these kids. If we would have stayed with our biological mama, we would not be here right now. Because she had issues going on that was beyond our little bitty controls. We could not help her. Some people can have kids and it changed their life for the better. Like mine changed my life for the better. They slowed me down. And some people can have kids and it drive them plumb crazy. Postpartum, if you don't get help for it, it drives them to become somebody you never know. And I'm looking at all these stories on TikTok, on Facebook, of postpartum stories of where these mothers, they get rid of the kids, they off their kids, and not realizing the reason why I feel so connected to those stories are because my biological mom, she buried her kids. She buried us in pine straw. She didn't want us. And it didn't faze her. And if you talk to her about it, she laughed about it. But see, they knew she was like that. She was in and out of the place they used to call Dorothea Dix, which was a mental institution. That's why she was like that. So that's why I don't complain about being adopted. And I pray I ain't got them mental genes. But she buried her kids, and which was me and my siblings, the oldest ones of us. We got buried. And I think about it sometimes. This is why I stay sick all the time, because I went through a lot as a kid trying to survive. And I don't know if they called it postpartum back then or what, but whatever she endured, it turned her out. She was never the same. She couldn't raise kids. She couldn't raise kids. To this day, she cannot be with kids by herself. We have never left her with kids by herself because she may become dangerous with them. You know, she cannot take a lot of noise or kids talking. And she just has never had a thing for kids. Now, she loves them in her own way. And she will do anything in the world she can do for them or us. Her children. She'll do anything she can for us. But it's got to be on her terms. It's got to be on her terms or else, you know, she gets stressed out easy. She goes from 0 to 100 easy. And we just learned how to put up with it. We learned how to deal with it. She still lives around us, by the way. We ain't no distant family. We right here side by side. But we learned how to deal with her ways, and we accepted mama and daddy as our mama and daddy. And we accepted our biological parents as our biological parents. And she made sure to remind us. She planted this seed in us herself. And to this day, she plants that same seed. And she even done planted it in my grandchildren. She said, don't call me mama. I'm not your mama. And people would, you know, we grew up confused. I know I said I was going to end, but I need to say this part on there while I'm talking. Because we grew up confused. We didn't know if we were supposed to call her mama or not. Because daddy, our biological dad, not biological daddy, but the one that adopted, he said it was okay for us to call her mama. Because she was our mama. And he said he stepped in so the state wouldn't get us. But when we went to call her mama, it was a problem. She flipped out on us. Get away from here with that. Don't be calling me mama. I'm your sister. Don't do that. Don't be calling me mama. She went off on us. To this day, she does not want us to call her mama. And my grandchildren, they'll say Grandma Gloria. And she said, I ain't your grandma. So I don't know what triggers her about those titles or roles. I don't know what triggers her about it. But she does not like it. She don't like affection. She don't want nobody saying, I love you. Well, none of her kids anyway. Now, anybody else can do it except for her. She'll accept that from other people. If somebody else walks up to her and say, hey, Mama Glow, she'll accept that. But when it comes down to her own, Don't ask me why. I don't know. But we've accepted that. We have lived that way for years. And though it's strange and though it's dysfunctional, it still works for us to have a relationship with her. It works. So we don't call her mama. We don't call her mama. We don't call her grandma. Grandkids don't call her grandma. None of that. We call her Glow. Glow, Glory, or Gloria. Her name's Gloria. Whatever she wants us to call her, that's what we call her for that day. We don't bother. We don't bother in that capacity. We just let her go on and have her way, and perhaps we have spoiled her like that. But we know for us, it's just a lot safer and easier to deal with her like that. Because once she gets in that stubborn mood, she's not going to listen to nobody, and she's going to shut down, and you won't know nothing about her. So we just leave it like that. And that's all. All right. I'm going for real this time. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to share this out with some of your friends and stuff. Y'all give me some numbers. No, you don't have to. But if you want to, you can share it out. I just wanted to tell my story. I don't know why it's on my mind. But it was on my mind. Now I'm going to eat this egg salad and find me a movie to watch.